Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. Welcome, beautiful souls, to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. I'm your host, Shaz. Today I want to go and talk about the real purpose of a spiritual awakening. A lot of us think it's just about tapping into excessive energy from the universe, being able to use the different clairs, communicate with the spirit guides and so forth. But for me, the real essence of it is returning and remembering our soul. When we're in spirit, before we incarnate on earth and decide to come down and have a human journey, our soul sits there and decides that throughout this lifetime, we want to experience this, that, or the other. So different experiences. We want to learn different lessons, master different emotions, and have a yin-yang experience of something that we've either witnessed other people go through or we have done to other souls. So up in the heavenly sphere, we sit there and we negotiate with other souls to have these interactions and experiences. And you will say, I want to learn forgiveness, but I want to know what it feels like to have XYZ happen to me, whatever it may be. Just to give you an example, I want to know what it feels like to be homeless. Okay, so I want to have all my worldly goods taken away, that I have nothing available to it, and I want to know what it feels like to struggle and not have anywhere to live and to fight for life, sort of thing. Because I see homeless people on the street and I wonder what that feels like. How can you get to that situation? What makes you go through all of that turmoil, whether it's the depression, the sadness, the anxiety, that you walk away from society? And then how does the soul navigate, negotiate, and filter through it? Sometimes it can be from a person that can make that happen to you, like a parent could kick a child out onto the street. You could have to leave a partner from a toxic relationship. You have many ways that go and talk to homeless people. They all end up there differently. Okay, some could go to prison, some could not. So you could choose to go through different avenues of life. I wonder what it feels like. That is why some souls go down the drug path, some go down the theft path or the criminal lifestyle, because they want to feel like what it feels like. The problem is when we feel things, we then apportion blame, usually to someone else, because we don't take personal responsibility for how we got there. Our soul chose to go through these things in order to evolve. I had a traumatic childhood, and my mother and brother did a fair lot of things that if I was a different person and didn't see two sides of the coin, I could hate them and apportion blame to them and then want revenge or reparation for what they've done and create another karmic loop of things that I didn't want to learn. Neil Donald Walsh wrote a book called The Little Soul and the Sun. And in that book, he talks about this soul journey, how we do the negotiation in heaven. We come down to earth, and the little soul wants to know what it feels like to have forgiveness. And the other soul says that I will do this horrible thing to you, but please remember who I am and please forgive me for doing that. When people or other souls do things to us, we don't forgive them. We hold on to unforgiveness like a badge of honor when it's actually detrimental to health. It's detrimental to well-being, and it stops us from evolving, ascending, and elevating to the true essence of our soul's journey. We are a soul on 3D and 5D plane. We live in a linear time frame, and everything has time. In the heavenly sphere, we don't have time. We may choose to come down in this life to heal things from past lives or even for future lives because time is irrelevant when we make the contract. Things that happened previously in lifetimes beyond us, beyond our memory of this existence in this human body that we are in today, can impact us. It can impact the relationships that you have. So if you're having a bad interaction in this relationship and you feel responsible for what's happening to people in this world, you could create a contract for the next life that you want to absolve yourself from the karmic backlash of what you've created in this life. Because we create all different stories based on our actions. Okay, yeah, I suffered a lot of trauma. Do I believe that I'm blameless in any way, shape, or form, that I haven't unintentionally or even intentionally at the time hurt other people or caused problems for them? No, because I'm not perfect. And I do believe that the interaction, there has to be yin yang, it has to come back and forth. So from that, you can then turn around and go, well, I caused this pain or this hurt or this problem to somebody. How can I go and work out, well, what does that feel like? I don't know what that feels like, so I want someone to do it to me. And I want to go and apologize or stop the suffering or suffer consequences from a lifetime many, many moons ago. This is the evolution of the soul. So it's not just the visions and colors that we awaken up to. We awaken up to the remembrance of the true essence of all of ourselves. And it's all of ourselves that has the journey, the emotional wherewithal to navigate and remember the greatness within. Remember the power that we're here for, to uncover the lessons. For no matter what sort of trauma, drama, relationship problems you ever go through, there is a lesson behind it. And once you master that lesson, first of all, you get off the merry-go-round of repeating it over and over again. But secondly, you start to skyrocket exactly where you need to be for that ascension level and to create and become the master manifester creator of your world. A lot of the time, we feel alone and abandoned after we go through great suffering. We're never alone. Our higher self is always with us, and so is the God source energy. The disconnect that we feel or the void that we feel within ourselves is because we are not listening or we're so far away from the true knowledge that lies within us. This soul journey is different for everybody. But go and look at the interactions. Look at the relationships in your life with your family members. Were they good relationships or were they bad? Were they good lessons you had to learn? Or did they need to do something that you asked them to do and then you were here to learn forgiveness and understanding and compassion? Ultimately, when we incarnate on earth, is because in the heavenly sphere or on the other planes of existence, the feelings aren't the same. We want to know what it feels like. And trust me, a lot of emotion feels absolute shit. They're horrible words for it. It's awful. We create trauma where trauma doesn't need to be. We blame the person that does the things that cause us the trauma because they must be horrible or they must be evil. We label them and we acknowledge their behavior as being their soul. Their behavior is the action that they volunteered to take to teach us a lesson. And when you learn that lesson, you can understand, acknowledge, and forgive the behavior. It doesn't make them evil. It doesn't make them unforgivable. It doesn't make them horrible. It makes them honorable because they chose to suffer the flip side of that. Our hatred, our revenge aspects, the negative energy we put towards them, the blame, the shame, all of those negative things. But they also volunteered to want to know what that felt like. And it's about how everyone comes to deal with what experiences they're going through, the emotions they need to master, and then grow and evolve to become what you choose to be instead. Because ultimately the flip side is, how are you choosing to move through it? Are you choosing to rise above it, or are you choosing to allow it to settle you down and bring about the real negative feelings, the depression, the sadness, the anxiety, the demons, the mental health, because we don't have the capacity to deal with the higher knowledge. Most people that suffer really deep mental health are so disconnected from their higher selves who love them unconditionally, can see the power of what they've overcome, and feel that abandonment, that disillusionment, that lost element. Find yourself. It's through that spiritual awakening and reconnecting with your true self that you discover that my favorite message to share with everyone is I don't care what you've been through and you're not your problems, because no matter what happened to you before, you won. You survived it. It's now time to thrive from it. Because trust me, you gain something from it. And you can't get to where you are today without that experience, because you would be a wholly different human being, a wholly different personality. And your personality becomes from all of the choices that you made along the way. You are an evolution of your life story. Do you allow that life story to control you, or do you master it and choose what aspects of that become the beautiful essence and powerful being that you are today? Because that's what matters the most. Okay? Some souls come and choose to go through joy, success, and happiness. But even in that all encompassing joy and success, when you go look at those celebrities that have it, there's lots of deep lessons there. There's lots of downsides. There's lots of yin yang energy, because we are a polarity of opposites. We have to have balance in order to create that success. To get to that success level, it's a mastery of the creatorship within. It's the connection to self of remembering why we're here, how we stay the path, and the effort we're willing to put into it. That is why when you do incarnate as a young child, you usually know what your talent is and what your gift is, and pay attention to your children when they tell you what they want to be when they grow up. And for crying out loud, encourage that. Don't discourage it. Don't steer them away from it because you can't see the vision that they have. Encourage and enable them to become that, because they can either get there the easy way through encouragement, tenacity, hard work, and effort, and enjoy that success early, or they'll go through all the struggle to only get there near the end. We always return to our life purpose, and we do come with that knowledge, and it stays with us through childhood till about 7 years old, and then society literally beats it out of us. Our parents tell us we can't do that, we can't become this, or school tell you you're not smart enough to do that. Do you know how many people that are not smart enough to do things are billionaires and multimillionaires? Because they have vision and they have this belief and this dream that God enables them to connect with, because they are attuned to their higher self. Go and ask anyone with a deep vision that's mastered the art of living their passion and their truth. Is the journey easy? Go and interview a celebrity and find out the hell they have to go through in order to get to where they are. But would they have it any other way? No, they wouldn't, because their passion and their purpose in life is so strong that they want to go through that. And most purposes in life are delivered through great hardship, because we do have to filter through that opposite and that polarity experience. Some of us choose the trauma and pain route, but trauma and pain does not have to be the start, middle, and the end of our story. It only needs to be the start. The middle is the overcoming that trauma and the pain, and the end is usually greatness. Our big problem is we get stuck and keep that start in the middle and hold it to the end. We are meant to let go of our traumas and our problems and our stories. We are meant to rewrite them with the lessons that we've learned. We are meant to evolve from them, not to stay stuck within them. It is through the greatest tragedies that we have some of the most amazing turnarounds. Go and ask anyone that suffered great tragedy, and my cousin Julie is a prime example. She lost 2 children to a disease that basically we'd never really heard of before the children got it. And the change she has made through advocacy and living and wanting to create a better future because of her children and to keep them in prime position of memory for life has been phenomenal. There are many, many stories and many Australians of the year who have overcome great tragedy in order to rise up and become something. Because quite frankly, when you're born with ease and success, we don't really keep that pathway. There are not many people born into great wealth and vast peace and serenity that stay on that pathway. They all create hardship. They all create their own trauma. They get into drugs, they get into problems, they get into toxic relationships, they get into bad situations or bad things happen to them because they all want to experience the balance and the polarity. Okay? We don't thrive on success and joy. We thrive on it when we create it for self. But if it's handed to us on a silver platter, that's where self-sabotage comes in. And you can look at it in society, look at it everywhere. They all have to test the boundaries and see, are they really worthy of it? It's lessons of worthiness and acceptance of, why do I have it so easy and somebody else has it so hard? I need to go out and do dumb things to make the balance filter out so that I can accept this like this great wealth, this worthiness, this position. The royal family is a prime example. Look at all the different things of how they break out of the little bubble that they have to live in and go and experience things for greater lessons. Some of them learn it with ease and others learn it through deep, deep hardship. But they all come back to the knowledge of who they are and rise up to be what they're expected to be. The greatest part about all of this is that you get to choose your reactions to what happened to you and what happens to you in the future. This is about understanding the triggers and the traumas when you overcome them so you don't get on that rinse and repeat cycle. The one thing I can guarantee through many, many years of experience and watching it in so many other people is if you don't learn the lesson, understand the growth, and get why you went through it and how you have already come out the other side, you will attract it again. You become a magnet for what you need to learn. So please learn it fast, awaken quickly, and go and review what you've been through and what you gain from it. And let me tell you, every single traumatic thing you have ever been through, there is a gain somewhere. You may not see it for self. You may need to talk to someone to get help. This is why I got into coaching, to help you understand and guide you to the gain that you got from it. And sometimes the gain is just not to become that, not to repeat that cycle, not to perpetuate the same behavior. But there is massive gain from it. And you wouldn't be who you are today without it. And who you are today is the most important factor in your life, because who you are is God's magnificent in human being. We are master creators. We are magical fabricators of our world. But first we must show up. We must decide what it is we want, who we are, and how we're going to use that energy frequency to create something better for ourselves. That is the free will choice. We have to heal from the things that we went through in order to move through them. But healing means letting go. It means forgiving self. It means cutting the cords to that past and rewriting that story. This is why I love Ho'oponopono. It is a Hawaiian tradition about 4 phrases, which is I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And that clearing energy when you review it on what you've been through the traumas, through the problems, through the difficulties, the hardships, when you go and review them through the lens of those 4 phrases of how it contributed to what you've become, and you release it and let it go, you become so much better, so much clearer, and so more able to go out and be everything that you need to be. Trust me, you need to clear and heal the old stories, to reframe them, rewrite them, and bring them back into what they're truly meant to be for you. Because when we don't, that is where we create dis-ease within our body. Trauma rises to the surface. The healing journey rises to the surface in our triggers. It will come up and up and up for us to face. And if we don't face it, you have approximately 3 to 4 years where it sits in the etheric field, the auric fields of the emotional, mental, and spiritual planes before it manifests into physical disease within the body. So you have 3 years of which to face it, confront it, and truly understand and forgive and release what has been, to empower yourself with the lesson and to choose how you move forward with it before it becomes physical disease. Don't ever let it get that far. You always want to choose forgiveness over victimhood. Victimhood creates sadness, anxiety, depression, mental health, pain, suffering, autoimmune diseases, cancer. All of that is created through the victimhood of things that we perceive happen to us. The human body has this amazing capacity to heal, but it all starts with the mind, the way you think about things, the way you process, and the thoughts that you have, and the thoughts you continue to have about what's happened in your life. Master that. That is what will take you on the greatest journey of your life. You become more and more connected to your own truth. The one thing throughout this journey that I discovered, you can't let anybody else tell you what your lessons are. This is why coaching is so fantastic, is we don't tell you what to think, what to believe about it. We guide you to understand your own lessons, to understand your own greatness. Think about it. How often are you ready to hear how amazing you are, how wonderful you are from someone else? And the moment you start to think it and believe it for self, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a massive change in this world of who you become. And it's through that, through the understanding and knowledge of who you are, the discovery or rediscovery of self, that makes all the difference. Your soul has chosen amazing, massive experiences in life. It's up to you what you do with them. Because this is an evolutionary process. When we return back to source spirit and go back to the heavenly plane, whatever we don't learn, we'll write a new contract to come back and do it again. Please get it right the first time. Because suffering and healing past life trauma, generational trauma, or trauma for other people, which has been the story of my life, can tell you many times it's been a bit hellish. But at the same time, it's really worth it. And I'm glad I've taken this journey. Has it been easy? No, it hasn't. But there are so many wonderful and amazing highlights. And I wouldn't change anything to be who I am today, because I love who I am today. I have great acceptance for where I'm at. Do I want better? Absolutely. That's my passion and purpose for striving better, creating this better world, changing the world around me. My deep mission is I want to change the world one person at a time. If every message that I share hits one soul and awakens them, activates them and brings them along for the journey, I'm a happy little camper. It is my blessing to be able to share this wisdom and knowledge with as many people who choose to listen. And I endeavor to get this knowledge, this sharing out into the world. This is my mission. Did I know that when I was younger? I always said as a child I wanted to be a teacher, because that was the word that I knew. And even when I got asked at school, oh, you want to be a school teacher? I told my teacher, hell no. I don't even like the education system. And I don't, because I don't believe it teaches us what we really need to know. And one day someone asked me, well, what do you want to teach people about? And I told them I want to teach people about life, about why we live, why we choose to come to this planet, why we show up as we are, what experiences we go through, and how to navigate that journey. And I'm blessed and honored each and every day that I have come full circle to live that experience. It's up to you. What is your mission? What is your purpose? Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. Let go of the past. Release what was so that you can rise up and become all you need to be. It is all inside your heart. It is all inside your connection with your higher self and that God source energy. And trust me, you deserve the fucking world. Everything you want is available for you, but you have to take inspired action. You have to get up and do things. It is not going to come to you if you sit there and wait and then say, I can't do this, I won't do that, or not take the action of your higher self and the inspiration that comes. Ideas and inspiration are implanted in our psyche for you to act on. They're not there just for you to know. Your soul is forever communicating with you. Your higher self is always adjoined to you, and so is God. We disconnect from it ourselves, and we disconnect from it in our pain and in the stories we tell ourselves. You have the opportunity to plug back in. Are you going to take it? Are you going to stand up and become everything that you can be? Or are you going to sit back and let the world pass you by? Because passing you by, letting everything float around and not doing the inner work, unfortunately leads to only one destination, and that is death. Unfortunately, in life, we're all still heading to the same destination. Are you heading there with fun, peace, love, clarity, happiness, abundance, and all the greatness? Or are you heading there with depression and sadness, anxiety, and all the hell? That's the choice that we have. And don't say there's no choice. There is. Everything can change in one moment, and it's all by the action that you can take. There are people out there that have been through the absolute depths of despair, who have lost everything, had nothing, come back and risen to the top by their choice, by their mindset, by their connection to source energy, by the grace of God. You can too. Please like and subscribe and follow the channel. I really appreciate you listening, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.